Hello, everybody. Welcome to Squad Ops Session 2. It's a wonderful Saturday night. We're going to be playing Operation Rook here. If you don't know what Squad Ops is, it's a one-life event on the Squad platform. This is Squad Ops. We're hosting this event. I'm here joined with CMYKMatter, one of our content creation leads, as well as Penn, who is also behind the scenes, working the cameras, making sure that everything is nice and great for you. Once again, these official streams do have that multi-cam perspective. We're going to cycle through those after we introduce Matter here. So Matter, how are you doing tonight, man?
Oh man, I'm feeling it. I'm ready. I commanded this op earlier today, so I got pumped up, got all excited about it, and now I get to watch it from above, see what Best Pony does, see what the other guys do. Man, I'm excited. I'm pumped.
This is definitely one of the more fun ops. Just the terrain of Narva is extremely varied. You have the CQB alleys, then you have the larger areas, the open grass fields, the moats. A lot of fun and cool stuff can happen here. But we're going to cycle through the cameras here. We have at the top right of your screen, you can see a little overlay that tells you who you're watching. We're going to cycle through here, and as we do, you should see that name change depending on who we're switching to. But yeah, we're going to get into the operation and what this Operation Rook is really about here in a few moments. Both teams are setting in, commands are getting their briefings done, players are getting ready, and we're looking at a live time within about 5 minutes here.
10 or 5, I like that. Reverse order, feels good.
Yeah, 10 or 5, reverse order. Hey, I go any order I want. that's the glory of being the glorious dictator here at Squad Ops.
That's beautiful. So we're going to cycle through those cameras. Let's see who we have.
Bust that bottle, man.
We'll be chilling out in an MTLB most likely, so you can do it then.
Assuming we have a list. All right.
30 seconds. You're superhuman, dude.
Oh, we already went through.
All
right, fine.
All
All right, so our cameras that we have tonight are the glorious Muff Bandit. Always an amazing guy to watch. We'll keep a special eye on him tonight, see what he does. Very entertaining. We've got BenBot16. We've also got Burns out there, one of our new staff members in the community team, doing a great job for us already. XBit. We've got XF in here as well. We've got Shadowed Ritual, Evan SMA, and the Silverman are the cameras that you're going to be seeing tonight, along with obviously myself and Karmakut. So we'll be flying around in the air, but the rest of those guys will be providing those first-person boots-on-the-ground cameras, get you in the action. Man, those are always intense. Those first-person cameras. Whenever I go back and I watch the squads or I watch the VODs of these and see rounds flying in and pinging over their heads, crazy stuff. I love it.
It's definitely, you get total different feel for what players can see when you see that first-person cam. Because from the air, you think things are a lot obvious and you can see movements a lot more clearly. But once you get on the ground, you really start to experience that fog of war.
Guys, let's
I guess another important thing that we should go over is that tonight, anytime you're seeing these overhead cameras, and we're kind of jumping back and forth with Karmakut and myself, one big thing to remember is that the U.S. is going to be red on your screen. So anytime you see red outlines around people, that is the U.S., and the Russians are going to be blue on your screen. So anytime you see blue guys, that is Russian.
That is good, and I'm glad that you remember to mention that. Very important to note. This is a Russian versus American operation, and we'll get into the op doc as soon as we nail out who we have squad leading and commanding for the Russians and the Americans. So taking a look at the list here, for the Russians, Squad 1 will be led by Bursinger, Squad 2 led by BenBot, Squad 3 led by Burns, Squad 4 by Digit, and commanding the Russians tonight for round 1 is Best Pony, who commanded previously in the first session. For the Americans, we have Shadowed Ritual in Squad 1, Satan in Squad 2, Odessa in Squad 3, XBit in Squad 4, led by LaRue, who is the American squad leader American command for this first round. As we roll through here, we're going to bring up the operation document, which will show you the assets and the operation rules and objective for tonight. All right, so, as we take a look at this, go ahead. I want you to explain tonight's operation.
All right. So for the Russians, they get 2 ARs, 1 LAT, 1 medic. They also get 2 MTLBs, 1 transport truck, and 1 logistics truck. For the U.S., they get 2 ARs, 2 LATs, 1 medic per squad. They also get 2 logistics trucks. Important to note that logistics truck is actually sitting at a gas station. The story here is that while U.S. forces were attacking the gas station and castle area, Russians had to retreat, left their Logi there. So if the Russians retrieve that Logi, they can set up a mortar cup somewhere on the map east of the Delta Echo line, and the U.S. are going to be in charge of holding that Herman Castle, the big castle on the east side of the map. So the U.S. are going to do all they can to lock down that area. Also, probably try to do a good bit to stop them from getting the Logi truck that you can see parked right here in this gas station. See that thing parked right there. So if the Russians manage to get this thing back, they can set up a mortar location somewhere, and with that mortar location, they can rain unholy hell on that Herman Castle. I'm excited to see if they do that. You know, Pony used the mortar cop earlier to great effect against me, actually, and I chose to absolutely not use it whatsoever, but we'll see what they do tonight.
So let's take a look over at the objective itself right now. This is the castle that we're looking at. And the Americans will be here shortly. They're going to set up their fob in here. They're going to get some initial sandbags down on live. But U.S. will start here with 2 Logi trucks, as stated in the operation doc. And those 2 Logi trucks can make repeated supply runs so that the U.S. can build up their defenses on the castle. If we zoom out here, the terrain features around the objective, you'll note that on the north, there's a good amount of cover with the rocks and the cliff. But on the east, there's a very steep, slight drop off where line of sight is cut from the castle. So it's a very, very popular routes for attack for Russia. On the south and west, however, you do have that massive, massive open field and moat that kind of deters any kind of infantry push from those sides. So looking at this terrain, we're going to look at how Pony decides to assault the objective using his assets. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have a pretty exciting round here.
Oh, you know, Pony always makes an exciting round. Is this LaRue's first time commanding? I can't recall if he's commanded before.
I believe he's commanded once or twice before. So looking at the matchups here, LaRue is a fairly new commander going up against Pony, who's been around for and commanded for multiple operations. So we're gonna see how this plays out. You know, team versus team. I'm predicting though it's gonna be just a little bit brutal on the first game, but the second game I think it's gonna be a lot more even.
We'll see if LaRue is actually bulletproof tonight. I think that's what we can find out. Oh man, looks like they might be doing the command brief right now. I'm not sure if we have the ability to listen in on that. Yeah, we're gonna see if we can. Do we have anybody on that side?
Looks like they're finishing up their communing briefing. As we said before, Squad Ops is extremely different from standard squad play. Once again, this is a one-life scenario and event. That means when you go down, that is it. There are no respawns and no medic revives. As right now, what we're doing is getting all the players up to speed. Squad Ops is a public event. Anyone can join. So if you're interested in learning more about the platform or watching more of the platform, head over to squadops.gg or youtube.com/squadops to learn and watch more about the official Squad platform.
Yeah, we've got all kinds of crazy stuff in there. I really enjoy the videos. Actually, this weekend, one of the things I'm going to be working on is getting those all organized into playlists, so we'll have it even more convenient for you over there on the YouTube. Some good stuff. I'm excited to see it. Well, it looks like they are getting ready here. It looks like they're going to use the trans trucks to actually drive people over to the castle, and then drop them or bring the trans trucks back.
Yeah,
That's not a bad idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I was just like, yeah, let's just run it, you know.
My power was 3 times this week for over 3 hours.
Oh man, a lot of people joining in the chat saying hello to everybody. Man, that's awesome. Looks good. It's good to see all you beautiful people here in the chat. Really appreciate you guys coming out and watching it. Without you guys, there'd be no point in us doing this. We'd just be sitting here talking to ourselves. I mean, as much as I enjoy hanging out with Karma, you know, I kind of like to talk to other people too.
Yeah, we're always working on improving and making the stream better for everyone that's viewing, getting the multiple cams in, getting the overlays in, making sure that everything's running as smoothly and as professionally as possible. So we're really glad to put on this kind of quality of show for you guys. And every week, once again, every Wednesday and Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific, we will be hosting these streams.
Yeah, also, we do one earlier in the day on Saturday as well. I believe that would be at 1 p.m. Pacific.
That is correct, 1 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, we do earlier ones there. Sometimes we don't get to have all the wonderful multicam streaming like we do right here, but you know,
Uber's here, everybody.
it's an option.
Yeah.
You can check it out earlier in the day if you can't hang out at night.
If you're injured, I got the meds.
Oh, I'm a medic. I totally forgot. Come to me.
See, it looks like the U.S. are ferrying all their people over to the castle. So for this operation, the U.S. has to start in this castle, except for their Logi runners. The Logi runners will start over at Maine, but looks like they're ferrying everybody over there to get them into the starting location. And then we will be going after it. We will be getting into it. Is this live or recorded? It is 100% live, Mustafa. These guys are 100% in the game right now playing it, and you will find out if they live or die in real time. Well, you listen to soothing voices like Karmakut and mine, playing all the latest and greatest hits.
On the left.
I'm listening to Best Pony's brief here, and it sounds like he does plan to repeat his strategy from the first session this morning, which was taking the Logi truck, getting that mortar down in the north, and proceeding south in a platoon line. So he is, like we looked at those terrain features before, we looked at that moat. He's going to entirely avoid that moat if possible, take that Logi, set the mortars up, and proceed north to south onto the objective. So it's going to be interesting to see if what he's learned from that first operation, and see what kind of changes he's going to make this plan more effective.
Allowing them to eliminate any U.S. contacts they come across in the village with speed.
We're going to listen to the end of his brief here and see what he's doing more specifically in his micro to the final stages of his assault.
Some additional barrages of mortars into the castle itself. The MTLB is going to lay into them with that machine. Position will be right here. Maybe somewhere close to there. All squads just kind of, keep shooting at them. Just keep blasting them for a while we just mortar the crap out of them. Then after about 1 or 2 minutes of that, when your squad leads think it's wise, they'll radio it in, and you will smoke and cross to the castle itself. We're going to target pretty much every entrance for breaching. So, kind of feel it out. Go and see, what do they have there? What do they have at this entrance? What do they have over on the side? Protect. Back entrance will be, which you can get Overwatch on with the MTLB. What do they have over here at this lower entrance? You're gonna figure out with your squad leads where the best place to enter is, and then you're going to frag out the U.S. defenders and enter. Interesting, because here I thought the Logi started the castle too. But anyways, so yeah, what was I about to say? Yeah, after basically the objective though, first, we're going to take the up half of the castle. So focus your efforts up there. We're going to take that up half. Once the upper half's in, we're going to keep mortaring the lower half, then command is going to yank up the mortar fob and proceed with the second MTLB in, and then assist as we clear out the lower half of the castle. Make sense? Questions, comments, concerns? No.
Big plan. A really big plan.
Does everyone have that written down?
All right, listening to that brief, it sounds very similar to his first strategy on session 1 as Russia's side. He is going to continue with those mortars, and he did that with devastating effect. Mortars used in round 1 as well, using them on the MTLBs, if anyone doesn't remember. Mortar play can be very pivotal in this operation. And we're going to see who's going to end up using the mortars and to what effect. But yeah, pretty exciting strategy for the Russians. They're going to start at the north and proceed southbound on a platoon line, focusing all their manpower and firepower on that north flank.
Very cool. We'll see how that goes. I'm excited to see what he can possibly do with that kind of assault. I know it's hard to assault from that southern route, but it seems like the northern route, people are starting to figure out defenses for it, whether it's placing a squad up to the north to kind of flank that or kind of act as a screening element. We'll see what they kind of do to prevent that, but I'm sure Jack has something up his sleeve.
The most dangerous part, I think, about that north assault are those rocks that are on the other side of the road. As we fly over here and take a look at the terrain features again, this one road does act as a major barrier, but only if you can keep eyes making sure that no one crosses it. The cover on the right with the foliage and the rocks provides great kind of defensive cover for the Russians to get a base of fire or support by a fire position up there and suppress the castle. But if LaRue uses mortars to good effect on these ridges here, he can completely deny that and maintain control over that northern road.
I already did.
Alright, I'm gonna drive the lead MTLB, so just whoever your driver is for that, tell them they won't have to drive it until
Yeah,
we
we'll
get
see
to
what
the
they're
first,
able to do
waypoint.
here. I'm taking a look over the op doc for something
'Cause the
here,
best
so if
way
you
to
can
do
cover
it-
for me for a moment.
All right, so me and
Of
Silas are gonna
course.
cross over to that.
So it looks like the Americans
So I
are
have
getting
to
all
find
broken up into their squads. It does look like they're somewhat staged and ready to go here. We have one squad on the parapets, one squad on the upper, and one squad on the lower, with one other logistical squads that will be running the trucks for supplies.
3 and 1 are doing that, and the MTLB is gonna park themselves on the road.
Have somebody covering your entrances just by
Yeah, exactly. That's why I picked that one.
All right,
And
cool.
hopefully
So
the
it looks
shadow-
like I was
shadow
actually
brings some,
wrong on
defensive
my
sector for you
interpretation of
guys.
the op doc there. Apparently, the U.S. can start a security team at Maine, and this is the first time I've actually seen this done. So they will be starting a security force here at U.S. Maine. The Lodgies will also be running there, so the U.S. can start their logistics ones, and they can also bring a security force. So they're going to be doing that. Interesting to see. I haven't seen this done yet, and I think that's why I was kind of confused by it. But looks like Jack read the op doc a little closer than I did. Good for him.
It'll be interesting to see how the position of the Lodgies, if it will cause a change in how this operation plays out, or if it's just a small little nuance in the beginning that won't really matter.
Yeah, those MTLBs and how they choose to use them are going to be pivotal for the assault that Russian puts together for the Russian side. The assault is going to pretty much defend on if they are able to get those MTLBs into good positions, provide a good base of fire, and not lose them. Those things are pretty squishy. They're only able to take, what, 2 rockets before they pop, I believe? 2 heats?
Yep, that is right. 2 rockets.
This looks like it has like.
And also, if we look at the kits here, the U.S. actually gets 8 lats total for the entirety of their team. So, 8 lats,
there's a
that's
lot
16
of
rockets.
anti-tank. There's a lot of different tools that the Americans can use to eliminate these logistical trucks.
29 round mag, and that's it.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to actually use those to great effect, or if possibly the U.S. can take them out before they become too devastating. Using the MTLBs, I feel like, is one of the really crucial things to making sure that your assault goes well on Rook. Rook is one of those operations that, you know, when you start at the engagement at range, you get good cover fire in. You're able to move your guys up from pretty much any position you want if you're able to keep their heads down. If you're able to keep the U.S. heads down. So,
exactly.
See if they're able to do that.
And it looks like we have a live time. We're going to be live here in exactly 1 minute and 5 seconds. Weapons will go live, engines will go live, and the operation will start to roll out here.
It doesn't have good sight to the south, but we can hide out into it. Maybe
We are
can,
almost ready. That is
ambush and
55 seconds away.
Next to their.
Only 55 seconds, and we will be getting live for round 1 of Operation Rook. Just a reminder for you guys, just because we get done with the first round after this doesn't mean that we are done. Afterwards, we flip the map. We get everybody to switch teams, so the U.S. end up on the Russian side, Russians end up on U.S., and we do this whole shindig again, which I really enjoy. I'm glad that you get to experience both sides of it whenever you come into these operations. That's one of my favorite parts.
This is amusing.
Looking at the Russians, they're all loaded up and ready to go. They're going to book it along that western MSR and proceed north, getting on that northern side, and then capturing the logistical trucks. Looks like LaRue hasn't opted to send... well, we're not live yet, but we'll see if LaRue decides to send a team to watch that logistical truck. And we're live now.
He's got this security force pushing out. They are running towards gas stations, so he might be sending them to do that. We'll have to see.
All right. As we can see here, these are one of the assets that the Russia gets. They're going to be using the MTLBs. These are light transport and fire support assets that Russia will get to use throughout this operation. They get 2 of them, and as you can see, they can hold a good amount of people, 19 people, and they are pretty much thin-skinned transports. They don't really go they can't really stand toe-to-toe with strikers or BTRs, but they get the job done for armored transport and light fire support.
Good stuff, and it looks like the U.S. has successfully made their first Logi dump. Those 2 Logis made it in. did their first dump, and now they are going to return to main. They can continue to run Logi as long as these things are up, so they can pick those apart and use them to get what kind of setup they want for their defenses. Also, I believe they get 2 mortars and 4 HMGs that they can set up at the castle. So we'll see what they choose to do with their defenses. You can really build a lot whenever you have 2 Logis running all day. You know?
As you know, you can see that these MTLBs really are quite loud. They're not really stealthy vehicles. So it's going to be interesting to see if US is able to catch this flank and pretty much predict what Pony does based upon his previous performance in the first operation. These things have pretty much a 500-meter audible distance, so it's going to be pretty hard to sneak these too far north without getting heard.
Now, the LaRue's forces, that security team that started at main, have pushed out, and they are overwatching the Logi right now. So if Pony does intend to push up there and get some, try to get that Logi out, use that mortar, he's going to have to do a little bit of work for that. Here goes the US Logi is driving by now. This US Logi is going to get another run in. Looks like they'll get 2 runs in safe. And we'll see if they're able to get any more. Those MTLBs, though, rattling along in the west. I can already hear them. So loud.
Looks like they have been heard, and U.S. forces are setting to counter this. But we'll see if a single squad is going to be enough to stop an entire platoon of Russians.
We're all going there. We're all going to go find out what they put there.
Very cool. So it looks like the Russians have started to push out some of their guys. They've dismounted them from the vehicles. And they are going to start maneuvering on this Logi position. Those MTLBs are definitely heard, though. And the security force, it's Squad 2. So that is led by Satan. So we'll see what Satan does with these guys that he has set up in these buildings. We'll see if he engages quick, or if he's going to try to let them get to the Logi and then engage them.
Well, fuck that, I'm not engaging.
We'll see if Pony's experience from round 1 gives him an edge in taking this compound. He knows roughly which buildings are most likely to be hot and which ones are not. So we'll see how he goes about taking these compounds one by one, and if he does manage to catch this Logi with minimal casualties.
This is the entirety of Pony's forces that have dismounted here and are pushing up on this Logi. It looks like he's going to take kind of a slow, methodical clear and see if he can get that Logi back into his command. He really wants those mortars. Those mortars can be devastating if you're on the offense and you pretty much know where the defense is going to be sitting, right? They're holding in that castle.
Contact is spotted. The Russians have spotted the Americans in that school.
All right, so we might get first shots out. Do we know? I don't think we know if Satan has been told to hold fire or to actually engage. We'll have to see if they choose to actually engage.
Elements around the fire team sites crossing a road.
We are?
So it looks like to me they have this U.S. squad led by Satan has one of his fire teams stationed up on this building that is on the south side of gas station. And then they have another fire team in this little kind of industrial building that's off to the west side of it across the road. And then here's the entirety of the Russian team pushing up on it. Kind of taking it slow, clearing.
Pony making the first offensive move here, rushing a fire team across. We're going to see how close these guys can get. I'm not sure if America knows that Russia sees them. It does look like they've hardened up, but Russia, if they do decide to breach this building with aggression, with grenades and overwhelming firepower, they can very quickly sweep through this building.
First shot came out. It was from the north. There's 2 guys stationed up in this station. Oh, here we go. Contact getting close now. They're starting to maneuver up on these buildings. Shots coming in. Is the first person down? I think we've had our first casualty already. A grenade came in, and bad spacing leads to 1 person going down for Russia. Another gets shot for the U.S., and we have our first contact. Oh,
Looks so far to be a 1-to-1 trade, but now Russia has the initiative, and they have surrounded this building from 2 sides. We're going to see Oh, where's the exit to this building? Oh, all the American soldiers now locked into this building. This is a very precarious position. There are only 2 exits out of this building, one off the northern side and one out of the straight west side. So it's going to be pretty hard to get out of that building at this time.
Not only that, there are giant windows that make up the entirety of the western side of that building.
Yeah, Squad 2 here in a really bad position now as they've chosen one of the top hats with
The MTLB has rolled up directly onto the gas station, and they have retrieved the Logi truck. The MTLB is now rolling out with the Logi truck. Shots are coming in. They're trying to pierce the windows, but it looks like they are going to be able to get away. That was Command himself. That was Best Pony that rolled up and got that.
That was some excellent cover fire by the MTLB, firing at the windows as they dropped off and recovered the Logi.
Logi took one hit, but it managed to get away.
Hit, yeah, but it did manage to get away. Now we're gonna see if Pony decides to pull off of this point, or if it decides to continue and engage and close with this contact inside these buildings. It does look like we're still trading back and forth here. I think we're 2 for 2 right now.
A lat shot coming in.
Coming out.
See if they can get it.
Bravo, how you doing?
310, Roger.
Holding it.
He's right in front of the building.
No shot comes out. They say they couldn't line it up.
And Pony just completely able to sweep in and just grab that Logi in the center of the intersection. So that was quite a risky but successful move for the Russians right now.
He's in cover.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they did not get those lat shots in on that MTLB. That thing was a sitting duck. I think the good suppression from that MTLB managed to do it. Lat shot comes in on the building on the west.
That MTLB just came in guns blazing, locking down those windows.
Oh, and here comes the mortars from the U.S. Nearly on their own guys' heads.
Yeah, extremely inaccurate, not where they need to be, about 100, 200 meters off target. So we'll see how much Russia can pull out of here with. They did make a 2 for 4 trade, I believe, but they made out with the Logi, and that mortar for Pony is going to be devastating.
We just lost a lot.
There's some more mortar shots coming out. We'll see where they manage to hit now.
Yeah, we can see the majority of the Russian force now peeling off from this side of the map. They're going to be retreating to the west and getting repositioned. They realize, hey, you know what? We don't need to fight this. We completed secondary objective. We're going to continue to the staging point. And that's exactly what's going on here. All Russian forces reevaluating, pulling back, reconsolidating, and they're going to move to that staging point in the north.
There's mortars still hitting far off of their mark. Russia has pulled back heavily from that location. Doesn't look like those mortars are going to do much for them. Unfortunate for U.S. Fortunate for Russia, though. Best Pony gets his guys regrouped. Let's see what kind of assault they're going to make. Satan and his guys still holding up in these buildings. Taking some pot shots back and forth, actually. There's some shots going out north. We'll see who that... Couple of pot shots coming out from here. He's got that AR, that saw. That is XF laying in some fire. The MTLB is coming back. The lat is getting ready. The lat shot goes in on that Logi. It missed.
Extremely close. One lat on the MTLB, but it doesn't look like that's going to be able to finish it.
See if they're able to get another law in. Doesn't look like it. So, one.
You hit him though.
Oh, that one goes in as well, and it hits a sign in the middle of the intersection, not managing to do anything to the MTLBs. And those MTLBs are now hauling ass up north.
Squad lead still up.
Well, that was a pretty successful little maneuver there by Best Pony. Gotta hand it to him, you know. It takes a special kind of guy as command to rush in there as yourself and pick up that.
Extremely risky maneuvers today by Best Pony. We're not seeing the same kind of methodical gameplay from earlier. He's making some pretty risky, big risk, big reward plays here, and he's getting lucky. He's getting away with it, but we'll see for how long.
Absolutely. It looks like the MTLBs might have ran into the Logi that's running for the U.S. up north.
Yeah, the 4th to get in.
Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, yeah, one of those Logis took a bunch of hits. It's turning around and running back to Herman Castle now. That is the U.S. Logi returning to Herman Castle. It had dropped its supply already and was trying to make a return run to the base, but the MTLBs pushed up north They were able to find it, so it took a good couple shots. And maneuvers out. It successfully runs away, but I don't know that it's going to be taking that same route again. That route's going to be scary, I would think.
We do see the majority of the Russian force here now. Pretty spread thin, but they are making good time to the northern objective here.
You know,
we're going to see where they decide to put down the mortars this time.
I'm seeing something kind of crazy here. If we fly out way down here to the south, one of the U.S. Lodges has now decided to take a way southern route. So it looks like they are changing their route to be completely southern so that they can continue runs while the assault is going on the north. Not a bad strategy, actually.
LaRue wants those supplies.
He wants the defenses. He wants those mortars, it seems. We'll see how that is able to go for him. But that Lodge is going to be making these wide U runs. He's determined that the entirety of the Russian force must be up north, so send the Lodge down south. Smart choice. Good stuff. That's Silverman on your screen, driving that Logi, actually. He's the one trucking it through town, playing Euro Truck Simulator. Man, I love Narva. This is such a beautiful map. Eastern European maps are some of my favorite in Squad. This, Gorodok, you know, really great maps.
Really great variation in the terrain, like we mentioned before, though.
Right.
Like tons of open ground, tons of CQB areas. And we can see LaRue sending some sparse shots up here in the north, trying to get lucky with those rounds. But I'm not sure if he's gonna hit anything. Best Pony has that Logi truck down. He has those supplies down. He's gonna start building his mortar. He's gonna get sighted and then execute onto that objective, the castle.
Meanwhile,
right now, the remainder of his team getting regrouped in the MTLBs.
Meanwhile, this squad that Satan's leading out to the west is kind of going stagnant. They're still just sitting in these buildings. I think they're still trying to chase down that.
Do they know? They must. They have to know that the Lodge has been removed.
If they don't know that that Logi is gone, I'm going to question Satan for quite a while. They have to know.
More mortar
shots. They're
wild ranging shots. Let's see if he hits the lottery here. We'll see where these mortars land.
Nowhere close.
Oh yeah, nowhere close.
They're way southwest. But you know, hey. They kind of don't know the location, so they're just going to try to do their best to put in some shots. Who's actually running on these mortars? That is Cronus Samu, a guy that earlier today had a wonderful little run as the last man standing in the second round.
That was quite a spectacle to watch.
All right, looks like Silverman has made it to Maine with that Logi and is now resupplying. And they are going to be bringing it back in again. So we'll see how that goes. It's pretty good for them that they were able to do that they were able to get those Lodges out before they lost them, and now they can shift to kind of a southern route. Now that
we see this platoon line from Pony coming in. He's got them spread out, and mortars are now commencing on the castle. We're going to zip on over to castle and see how effective these are.
Yeah, we're over here. I've got Overwatch on, and we'll see where those come in. Best Pony used those mortars to great effect against my head earlier. So, all right, we can see them coming in. Boom! They hit right on the top here. 1 hit, 2 hits, and 3 hits. They've got the range. You know, the range is perfect. They just need to start walking them around that compound and try to get some kills with it. Oh, some hit lower compound.
Yeah, we did talk about that mix of infantry and mortar pressure and how you need to kind of combine the two to be extremely effective. Right now, you see, without any threat of infantry, U.S. is able to just harden up in these buildings and just be completely safe in these structures.
Yeah, I think that they were hoping that maybe, you know, catch them unawares and that they'd be standing out in the open. But Jack's smart enough to tell his guys, get into these shelters, harden up.
Oh, you can hear those mortars. Those are no silent mortars. You can hear those coming in.
Can't put suppressors on them?
Nope.
No suppressed mortars here, folks. Not in the squad.
Pony's got his infantry's pushing up now, and then he's firing mortars at range. We're going to see how effective these are going to be again. Once again, there's not enough infantry pressure to really draw the U.S. out into the open, so they're just running for cover right now. But if he gets lucky...
There's always that possibility.
Ooh.
Oh, and the shot lands close.
One round directly on top of that mortar.
You know, if nothing else, he is destroying some of the sandbags, so he forces those guys to come out and dig them. But you hear some more mortar shots coming out in the distance now. Man, Pony just starts those mortars early and often, you know?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
More
you know,
mortars
you talked
inbound
about
on the castle.
You talk about that mix. Those mortars still coming in, hitting
You can really
them
see
around the compound.
Yeah, you can really see without infantry pressure, mortars alone don't really do too much.
One thing I can say that they're doing is they are delaying the building of some of these fortifications on the
That is
castle.
true. That is true. Keeping the U.S. in cover means they cannot be digging up things outside. So that is one benefit. But we have to remember that Pony has a very limited amount of mortar rounds, and so he's going to have to make sure he's not expending those needlessly on open ground.
He only has that one logi, but he can run it as often as he wants. So we'll see if he's able to get some logi runs. You know, there's an interesting scenario that allowing logi runs for Russia sets up where the U.S. and Russian logis meet in a field somewhere and just pass like, hey man, how's it going? You know?
Now, Pony, for his experience from the first session, has him set up an MTLB watching the west. He's prepared for that flanking squad on his west flank from the Americans, simply based off that first round. So we'll see how effective they will be. We're getting comms out from the Russians right now. They do already have eyes on that flanking squad. This MTLB is going to be able to light up these advancing infantry on the west going after the mortar fob. So Pony, using the mortar fob as kind of bait, is going to be able to lure these infantry in the open and decimate them with the MTLB if he's able to spot them.
That is fantastic work. A good modification off what happened earlier today. I had a squad hunting his mortar fob. They didn't manage to take it out, but it looks like he has modified his plan slightly in order to make sure that that fob is protected. Good stuff. More shots come in on mortar shots coming in on the lower.
Very close.
Ooh. Yes, definitely hitting some close shots there, scaring some people, making them run for cover. So it's good, you know. It looks like the U.S. was mostly able to get their defenses up. They're still running logistics though.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, Pony, they have a entrance.
Call goes out for Russia. It looks like they're shifting further westbound.
1-3.
They might be trying to counter that flank that's coming in, or they're trying to clear the village before they make their assault. Jack has managed to push up one squad to the north here in this village. And we'll see if he's able to have them hold it.
This is 3 with fire mission. Say when ready.
Shots coming in on this squad north in village.
Nothing connects though.
Not yet.
Muff's about to engage this squad. This squad's about to get caught in the open. We're going to zoom over here real fast and see how close they get. Oh, mortar's actually going out. I'm not sure if that was from Pony or if that was from the U.S.
Very close if they were U.S. I didn't hear any fire from U.S. No, nobody's on the mortar currently.
That must have been Pony firing a couple rounds over there to the west. This MTLB is just ready.
You know, they actually got somebody here with those mortars. Pony just killed one with the mortars. Blew a guy directly out of the HMG bunker that they had set up to watch the entrance. So he has already tacked.
And that's going to hurt him.
Ooh. Those mortars devastating already. If nothing else, they're kind of a morale breaker, you know? You can't do anything. Oh, Muff goes down to shots from the west. Unfortunate. How's that assault going on the west up there? Are they able to move in?
I think the MTLB took a round, but it's still deterring this northern push. U.S. now, I think, out of lats up here. We're going to double check that. And now, oh, no, there's still one more lat kid up here. And if he connects with this round, that MTLB will go bye-bye.
Very close.
Oh, wow. Here on the north side of
Counter
this
mortars
village,
from the U.S.
here on the north side in the village, we've got close contact here. Ace Expert sitting in this building. Merrick Squad just outside, very close to him. Let's see if they're able to clear this building. Pony's forces starting to maneuver in and starting to clear this area. Some shots go in. Crazy stuff going on right now. Now we're getting into the thick of it, you know? This is when it gets exciting. Shots
We're
go
going
out
to
towards Ace
see if
Expert.
there's not enough movement right here from Russia. They're slowly taking this village, actually. But we'll see if they're pushing up fast enough. I know Pony's running out of mortar rounds. They're making good ground here, limiting some of the U.S. troops. And it's just CQB clearing at this point, making sure that they're checking the windows, checking the doors.
Yeah, you know, Ace Expert just peeked that window, took a couple shots out of it, and then, you know, a lot of fire came back in on him. He pulls back, he peeks a corner, and just misses a Russian coming around it. He's going to peek it again. He gets... Yeah, he takes down the Russian. That was Tommy. And then Ace Expert gets traded back, clearing out this village as they move. A couple guys left over on the east side of the village. And that's going to be about it till they hit these rocks.
Ponies now pushes MTLB up onto the high ground. He's engaging with the MTLB, suppressing what he can. I think he's already gotten one kill with the MTLB at the right-hand side of this bunker, and that looks like that did in fact happen. I'm curious as to see how many more rounds Russia has on the mortars. He still has not pushed close enough with his infantry. He needs to mix infantry and mortars to be more effective with his firepower and to give his infantry a chance to breach the compound. But if he runs out of rounds before they can reach, Russia's going to have a difficult time getting into the castle.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you get stuck on those rocks as Russia, and you don't have any mortar pressure to keep their heads down, pushing across this street on the north side of Herman Castle can be a tall order. And now it looks like mortars going out from the U.S. and coming in on the U.S. Not killing anybody.
Just a big game of Battleship at this point. Mortars going back and forth from either team.
So far, not killing anybody in the castle. We'll see if they manage to hit anybody up there on the north in about 10 seconds. There's mortars hitting way off in the north, not managing to find that fob. It seems like
now
Jack
this
is
Russian
just trying to
squad
walk
in the
him
north
around.
can get pincered if they're not paying attention. We talk about 360-degree security all the time. If they are not being vigilant, they will end up getting flanked. And it does not look like anyone is covering their north.
Yeah, they could walk directly between that mortar cop location and the forward assaulting force that Pony has here. And if they're able to do that and push south, come into this village behind Pony's lead forces, they could do a lot of damage to this push before it even gets started. I believe that squad is actually Squad 2. That was the one that was commanded by Satan that we saw over at gas station earlier. They have now maneuvered themselves clear up on the north side. Oh, and here comes a Logi. That is a Russian Logi that's trying to make it to the mortar cop, it looks like. Yes, it is. They've driven this is interesting. Russia has driven their Logi directly into village, almost using it as fire bait, you know? The MTLB is right next to it. And
This MTLB is on the north side now. Yeah, it's checking out this U.S. infantry squad that doesn't have lat. And now this entire squad, because they don't have lat, is kind of stuck against a rock in a hard place. All pretty much stacked up in one building. And we're going to see if they're able to maneuver out from underneath this MTLB. But right now, this MTLB has a pretty good lock on this squad.
It's that T-Rex stomping through the forest, you know?
Pretty much.
It's clacking around. Glass of water bouncing on the table. Everybody trying to hide. If we don't move, it can't see us. Its vision is based on movement.
Incoming mortar rounds from U.S.
Alright, what's happening? We taking contact from our side and contact from our front?
Oh, these MTLBs are moving to pincer this U.S. squad.
Oh, man.
Incoming mortar rounds dangerously close to these,
You know, it hit that
MTLBs.
MTLB. It hit the MTLB enough to put it down at low orange health.
Your party looks like our Logi driver just
It
got
fragmented enough.
He's just around too much. He needs to stop these guys from bouncing around. They're gonna end up walking into a lat.
Yeah. Well, this oh man, no, now mortars raining in on top of the Russians' heads on the east side of village. That MTLB has maneuvered into position. I think that they think the village is mostly clear because that MTLB just rolled through. So, oh, and there goes the MTLB. That thing pops the instant
One
it
pop
peeks
on the
itself up over
MTLB,
the hill.
infantry on the open. Pony actually now. I have no idea what's going on. There's no real clear plan here. He's kind of bum rushing him along the coast at this point.
All right, we'll see if he's able to actually make something of this.
Alright, everyone from Maine and Alpha, get down here. We're gonna have to all go in.
You know, now Pony's saying, everybody just get down here. We're going to have to all go in. So it looks like he's going to try to do a big singular assault on this compound. Breaching tactics are difficult on this castle. They're not impossible.
remember
We had a
that.
successful breach earlier.
Yeah, he does not have mortar support, and now one MTLB gone. He's gonna have a really, really hard time pushing this cap. I don't think he's gonna be able to take it with the resources he's got left.
Yeah, that mortar actually just sitting empty now in the north. Putting on it. Mortars raining in.
Mortar's raining now. Get 2, almost 3 Russian soldiers, and Pony's platoon is panicking.
Position, continue pushing west.
MTLB, the second one, is maneuvering up into position. Odessa's squad there next to him. Not a lat between any of them. One lat shot comes in, it hits low on the rocks, and they start returning fire. Ripping apart the walls of this Herman Castle. You know, this thing's made out of thick concrete, though. It's hard to pen some of these walls.
The one saving grace I could see happening by Russia is if they can breach that compound quickly and fast enough to where they can end up holding the castle and repelling everyone that's outside. Because US has committed 2 full squads worth of infantry outside of the cap.
You know, that squad that Odessa has up here on the north, starting to take fire from that MTLB, is just stomping around. One goes down. They're traded back and forth. It looks like there's only 4 Russians.
Yeah. Pony did not take the time to clear the compound of this this northern area. It's really biting him in the back.
Oh, man! Mortar's landing directly on top of the MTLB. It gets knocked down to yellow health. Those mortars deadly accurate.
He's making a very bad mistake of rushing past compounds he has not cleared before. This MTLB pushing into territory that infantry has not cleared.
And he might have
I'm
it
not
stuck.
quite
He might
sure
get
what is
that MTLB stuck.
What is
Nope,
going
he got
on
it.
here?
The MTLB now pushing with 1 infantry on the north. But here comes the assault on the eastern side. That infantry soldier that was running across the field was down. Here comes the assault on the east side of the compound. A whole squad has managed to push in here. And now grenades rain out. We'll see. They've got a good number there.
I don't know. He still only has a one-sided attack going on here. This is going to be extremely hard for this platoon to push.
More shots go in on them. They know where they are. Rue and his boys definitely know where they are. They're reacting. They're getting themselves into position for it.
And yeah, Pony's just got his platoon in a very sticky situation.
Oh, another one goes down on the east.
Single
Oh,
point
God.
breach with no mortar support. I don't think he's going to be able to take this castle. We talked about before the waste of mortar rounds, and now he does not have any, and it's killing him.
Another one goes down on this eastern side. They're just getting picked off of these walls as they try to make it up.
Black goes out, barely misses the MTLB.
By the way, that U.S. force that was coming around, Satan and Odessa squads, have now maneuvered into position. One shot in on the MTLB. It's burning. He gets out. It looks like it's going to pop. It might pop. No, maybe not. it's still able to function.
I
So
think
close.
this is gonna be the end here. Pony getting his squad in a really bad position. Not quite sure what the call was to rush this. He had all the time in the world, and yeah, he ended up pouring everyone into a single point entry with no mortar support. We can see that smoke coming out, but it's a little bit too late now.
Yeah, all of his forces up on the north side have been wiped by the forces of Satan and Odessa. All there is one MTLB up here, and I believe it is being soloed. The driver got out for a moment because he thought it was going to pop, and he got frag grenaded. So, oh, there it goes. The MTLB pops.
Down goes the MTLB.
So now just this assault, and there's only 4 guys left. Looks like 4 guys left up here.
About to be 1 in a second here. No one's watching the flank. Yeah, this was a really poorly executed round, I must say.
Another flank comes in here.
Best
yeah,
Pony, the last person alive at this point.
Oh no, he's bleeding too. He manages to bandage himself, and now he's just sitting in a hole here. He's about to get shot in the face though. Some more shots come out at him. Here they go. Fight here between Best Pony. And that is Krona Samu! Krona Samu! What a guy! Always in the action. I like to see that. Oh, he takes some shots with Pony there. They trade back and forth. Pony gets hit. He's running.
Pony lasting a lot longer than he should be right now.
Krona Samu is actually getting his law out. Oh, he manages to bandage himself. And there he goes. He's down. That is GG.
And that's end of round 1. Pony making some critical failures that led to a pretty massive wipe. Not quite sure what was going on there, but we'll see if he can pull it back with a solid defense in round 2. Thank you so much for joining us for Squad Ops round 1. We're going to cut to a quick intermission here, and we'll be right back with the second round.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out to SOTT Basic. I'm your instructor today, Hammering Hutch. You guys can simply just call me Hutch. When we are suppressing an enemy target, the whole intent of this is to keep the enemy's head down so an adjacent unit can maneuver onto them. During this process, we have a thing that happens automatically and organically, whether it be with buddy teams or fire teams. The whole intent is to ensure there's no lull in the gunfire, thus talking guns. Open fire. Contact front. Alpha, bound. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. Bravo, bound. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. All right, Bravo set. Alpha up. He sees me. I'm down. You're now in what is known as a file. You're now in what is known as a staggered column, and usually used when on patrol or when moving from one location to another where contact is imminent. And these are a few of the basic formations that we use during squad ops. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course was created to ensure Squad Ops participants share the same knowledge and understanding of the use and applications of mission-specific weapons and the basic tactics involved in their deployment. The Automatic Rifleman. The Automatic Rifleman is the foundation of a fire team and/or squad. The job of the Automatic Rifleman is to deliver a high volume of prolonged, effective suppressing fire on enemy positions to allow the maneuver of friendly units during offensive operations and the repelling of enemy attacks in defensive operations. The Grenadier, a key member of the fire team and squad. The Grenadier is first and foremost a rifleman who is capable of delivering accurate fire of both high explosive and smoke rounds on point and area targets at varying distances. One of the other added benefits of the Grenadier is to engage dead space, which is essentially an area that cannot be hit by direct fires. The Light Anti-Tank Gunner. Soldiers carrying light anti-tank weapons are, just as Grenadiers, riflemen first. They are the ideal infantry-based counter to both lightly armored and thin-skinned vehicles. At short, medium, and far distances, the rockets fired are a viable weapon against groups of infantry as well. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course, although not a requirement, is highly encouraged for Squad Ops participants to join to expand their knowledge of how to utilize the tools that are given to us within Squad.
Welcome back to Operation Rook, One Life event hosted by SquadOps.gg. My name is Karmakut. I'm the director and founder here at Squad Ops. I'm joined by CMYKMatter, one of our content creation leads, and Penn, who's behind the scenes mixing all the magic together. We're in here for round 2. We have now swapped sides, and we're getting ready for the second round of session 2.
Going to be an interesting one. You know, the first one, we saw how the Russian assault started beautifully, and then it just kind of fell apart for him at the end. You talked about that mix of infantry and mortar pressure and the necessity to keep that mix healthy and alive. And we saw what happened whenever you don't do that. Pony kind of dumped his mortars early, and then whenever it was time for the infantry to push, they had nothing to keep the heads down of the U.S. whenever they made that push, and ended up getting wiped at the end of that one.
Yeah, you have to be able to draw that enemy infantry out into the open, and one way to do that is to force them to watch the entrances. And the only way that happens is if you have that infantry pressure there to pull them out. Otherwise, they just sit in buildings, and then you're gonna get camped at the end because there's nothing to keep them out of the open when you're pushing in with the infantry. So really weird choice by Pony. He managed to snag that logistical truck, but then at the end there, he kind of fell apart. There was a weird call. Compounds didn't get cleared properly. Vehicles rushed in. It was extremely messy near the end, and I'm not sure why that was, but we'll see if he's able to shape it up, get a solid defense going, and hold the line here for the Americans.
Right, and while we are getting set up here, I think it's a good opportunity to remind everybody that throughout the entirety of this cast, as we're flying around overhead here, the U.S. forces are going to be the red outlines on your screen. So anybody that you see as a red outline is a U.S. force. They are the defenders. Anybody who is a blue outline is going to be your Russian forces. They are the attackers. Well, we've got a minute. I think we might go ahead and bring up that op doc again and let you guys see how this whole thing runs. All right. So this is a face-off on Narva between the Russians and the U.S. forces. For the Russians, they get 2 ARs, 1 LAT, and 1 medic per squad. They also get access to 2 MTLB NSVTs, 1 transport truck, and if they can retrieve that logistical truck from the gas station, they are able to set up a mortar cop east of the Delta Echo line. For the U.S., they get 2 ARs, 2 LATs, 1 medic per squad, and they are able to take 2 logistical trucks, and those logistical trucks can just run all day. So the basis of this is that Russian forces were at the gas station with their Logi truck, and they were repelled by U.S. forces attacking Herman Castle. As Russia retreated, they had to leave their Logi truck sitting at the gas station. Russia is now trying to retake that Logi truck and retake Herman Castle. Herman Castle being the main defensive location for the U.S. The U.S. gets to build 2 mortars and 4 HMGs on that, as well as just running Logi all day. And this is the location of that defense. You can see it coming in view here as all of the U.S. kind of push their forces into here. This is going to be that defensive location. Mortars, or the location of Herman Castle, is a really interesting one. So you've got a lower courtyard that has a couple of buildings scattered around it, as well as a little nice wheat field there. Then you've got a great Overwatch compound on the southwest corner. Up on the north and east side, you've got a nice big old platform up here where you can set up a lot of different defenses. Now, as we talk about entrances, there's a couple different entrances to this. One entrance is here on the northeast side. It's an iron door, hard to push up these stairs and get through. Another entrance is over here on the eastern side. They're able to jump up these rocks, walk along this area here, and maneuver in here. Now, we don't allow parkour or anything like that, but this has been determined a valid entrance just due to the fact that it's easily body width to walk across it. Another entrance is going to be this southeastern one here. Can be a tough one because it's overlooked by those palisades on the southwestern side. Tough way to maneuver in here, but it can be done. Another entrance is on the west side where you have to cross a big old bridge to get in here. It's going to be difficult for them to get in that way. And this northwest entrance is a wide open broken wall that you are able to just kind of walk in, but you are at the lower level and you're kind of under the mercy of any emplacements that they would have up on that eastern side. So a lot of tough entrances. This place is not an easy area to assault, but we'll see if the Russian forces are able to repeat their success from round 1 or not repeat their success. We'll see if Jack LaRue is able to repeat his success from round 1 and get in there. See what's going to happen.
All right, looks like both teams are getting ready to start their briefings. As always, in every squad ops match, we do have commanders and platoon briefings to ensure that everyone has the proper plan and structure in place before we start the op. Once again, these are 1 life operations, so if you do die, that is it. You're done for the match. And yeah, we're going to roll in here. If you'd like to learn more about squadops.gg, go ahead and check out our website and our YouTube page at youtube.com/squadops and squadops.gg itself to learn more about our public service, our private service, and our training.
Yeah, a lot of great videos up there. You can watch all of our previous ops. We upload all of them. It's a really nice channel. You can also check out all the trailers we have. We got to show you guys the basic and AWS trailer during the break, but we've got some other ones.
All right, looks like Russian's going to start their briefing. We're going to listen in to what LaRue has planned for this operation.
Make sure you get out of the truck. Yeah. Something happens if you just go straight.
Teach me your ways sometime.
Where is it? Other side, Google. It's on the northeast side.
Yeah, we got it. Our admins are doing it.
Winner connect.
Alright, is this everybody? Everyone can hear me?
Yes.
Alright, awesome work on round 1, guys. That was a solid defense. You guys made the White House proud on that one.
The fuck? Just the one.
So welcome to Squad Ops Operation Rook. This is round 2. We have been given orders from the Kremlin that they want us to eliminate the filthy American pigs from our castle home in Narva. And the way we're going to do that, as soon as the Logi passes. Alright, the way that we're going to do that is we're going to load the entire tune-up into our 3 vehicles. We're going to drive them along the southern MSR all the way up to the friendly fob mark. There. That's going to be where we're going to drive them. From there, we're going to drive them to the new friendly fob mark. There, and that's our staging point. That is our staging point right there. From there, we're going to dismount, and we're going to have Squad 1 push up all the way to the MG mark near US Main. Squad 2 to the RPG mark. and squad 3 to the sniper mark. All right, so that's how it's going to look. Like this. Squad 1 at the north, squad 2 in the middle, squad 3 in the bottom. Squad 4 is going to be running vehicles, and they're going to have all the vehicles here on a staging point for them. On the mark. And what they're going to do there, they're going to do a security halt, pull 360, engines off. Once we're set, all the squad leads call set, we're going to start walking them in. Squad 1 is going to cross to the north side of the road, and they're going to clear all the buildings around on the north side. Squad 2 is going to clear all the buildings on the east side, and Squad 3 is going to cross into Bravo and clear all the buildings in Bravo around there. So when it's finished, can somebody get the final triangle marks on them? So when it's finished, this is how it's going to look with Squad 1 on the north, Squad 2 on the east, and Squad 3 Bravo. We're going to form a triangle perimeter around the lodge. When that happens, Squad 4 is going to drive their vehicles up. They're going to be pulling security for our lodge. One of the Squad 4 members is going to hop out, grab the lodge, and we're going to completely exfil the platoon down to the new staging mark, which is the friendly fob mark. That will be our new staging mark from there. From there, we're going to set up a mortar position around there. Squad 1 is going to be on mortars again because they did a good job. We're going to set the platoon up again on the south side, and we're going to walk them in under mortar cover, and we're going to breach on the south side, southeast sides. Anyone have any questions?
You said squad 2 was on the east, but you put the rocket mark on the west, so did you mean west? Like squad 2's on the west?
Just listen to your squad leads. They've been fully briefed on what we're doing. They'll go into more detail when we're driving over there. Just remember, sweep and clear every single building. I don't want any sneaky lats blowing up our transport before we can get to it. Or, sorry, our lodge before we can get to it. Alright, does anyone have any other questions? Alright, perfect. Squad leads break out. Let's get these vehicles set and we'll prep for live.
Squad 3 is going to move back up to the castle, and then they're going to move and Squad 3 is going to move and split one part and have them stashed over in these buildings over here to the west, and then they're going to have the other fire team stashed in the village area. So that way we can have some advance warning of where the enemy's trying to push us from. Besides that, it's going to be fairly simple. We're going to get a few 50s down, get some, maybe get a mortar round, I'm not sure yet. We're mostly going to try to prevent their mortars. Our mortars are going to be of less value,
right, so
we're not really going to use them unless we really think we have some
you
competent
got
people who can get that job done.
The tail end of the US
yeah, that's pretty much it.
here.
Any questions?
As we swing it over to Burns, so we'll listen into that.
That appears to be a no.
Let's kill them all.
All right, everyone, get to your positions. I'll call up. I'll call us ready, and we're gonna get the.
Okay.
Killed many people before.
All right. Well, looks like that was the end of that. So ends the U.S. brief. We got to listen to the last seconds of it. Oh man. Oh, by the way, to some people talking about picking up squad and everything in chat, it is currently on sale. Actually, I believe it's 40% off over there on humblebundle.com. So if you want to check out squad, get into some of these One Life operations, and you want to do it on a budget, now's the time to go buy squad. 40% off on humblebundle.com.
All right, both teams have their plans, and the live time has been set. We'll be going live exactly in 60 seconds. Vehicles and weapons will be hot, and we're going to see how this operation turns out. If LaRue can come out with another overwhelming victory, or if Best Pony can shape up, reconsolidate, reevaluate, and hold the line.
You know, after that first round, he needs to shape up a little bit. We'll see what he's able to do.
Unless you can get a kill shot.
By the way, I have to mention something earlier that I saw whenever we took a little break. Somebody said we don't allow parkour. Did they allow a tactical parkour option in the game? You know, I really wish that would be a thing. Actually, they kind of have it coming. V10, we've seen some of the animation updates. There's going to be vaulting and climbing and all that good stuff. So.
On the upper stairs,
Tactical parkour coming your way soon.
We're not going to try to hold the upper stairs. If you get
They're doing a lot of good stuff to this game. I'm excited to see where WI goes with it.
Negative. We're gonna have.
All right, we're live here in 5 seconds.
To be up there.
All right. Time to strap in. Get ready.
Yeah.
We're live. Let's go.
My riflemen put their sandbags in that breach to our south.
And there
game
we
is
get the
live.
call.
Russians now loading out in the MTLB plus trans. They've opted to put the transport in front of the MTLBs, an interesting choice, but they might be dismounting well ahead of the engagement zone.
And it looks like those first Lodgies have pushed off. I believe Muff Bandit, one of the guys in there. A couple of guys dismount, actually, as they get to the gas station, Muff Bandit being one of them. And they are going to push into this building on the north side. Looks like they're going to take up residence in there and see if they can get some sort of overwatch on this Logi truck. It's to remind you guys of what's going on. This Logi truck that is sitting right here in the middle of gas station, the Russians can retrieve this Logi truck, and if they are able to do so, they can run it as much as they want and set up a mortar cop somewhere east of the Delta Echo line. So we'll see if they're able to do that. In the first round, Pony was able to do it. He was able to get those mortars. He was able to set up his mortar comp. He was even able to do a Logi run or two, but ultimately he was unable to use them effectively in the assault. We'll see if Rook manages to do a little better with that.
That's the, yeah.
Right here.
Peyton, go cancel.
Damn, I'm right there. I'm right.
What'd you say?
This building's a no-go.
Go, Canador, I got stairs.
Looks like Muff has his lad out,
If somebody goes
looking
to my
at that
building, I'm
Logi
gonna
truck.
crossfire on yours, though.
He might take he can't take a shot at it before they actually pick it up, but once they pick it up and try to escape with it, he can take a shot. So that's just a little rule for fairness. We don't let them, you know, try to take a shot before it even happens. We want to
Russian infantry reaching their staging point now. They're going to be able to dismount here momentarily, and they're going to set to take that Logi. We're going to see if America's going to be able to deny this logistical truck. Hopefully, Pony can redeem himself this round. We'll see how this pans out, though.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how he's able to do this time around. Yeah, people in here talking about picking up squad. Definitely check it out on humblebundle.com. There is a good sale going on. 40% off. Then you can head over after you buy the game, get it downloading. While it's downloading, you want to head over to squadops.gg. Get registered. Get in here. Be a part of this.
All right, once again, going over the vehicle assets for Russia. Russia does get 2 times MTLBs, and right here we have a very nice clean overlay made by CMYKMatter himself. And you can see here that these MTLBs are very light-skinned but fast transports. They're armored, they can support, and they can transport. They won't go they won't go toe-to-toe with enemy BTRs or strikers, but they will hold their own when it comes to moving troops around and very, very light fire support.
So a little bit of the differences here, you know, we saw in that first round that LaRue decided on the U.S. side to put an entire squad surrounding this Logi in various places. It looks like they've opted to just put a fire team up here for Best Pony, and actually, even that, there's only a buddy team actually looking at the Logi. The other guys are kind of sitting off to the side here, so a different location for that. Meanwhile, a very similar approach from the Russians here as they dismount on the west side and start to push a couple guys up towards the gas station. It's going to be a little bit towards first contact as they work their way in here, but once we get
very interesting building choices by America here. One of these buildings does have eyes directly on the Logi, but the second one is pretty obscured by that tree. We're going to be able to see here if U.S. can react in time or the swipe. Muff is up here. He's given the lat. Pony goes, you know, Muff, I trust you. You're going to handle this, and we'll see if Muff's able to lock down this Logi by himself.
You know what? You say that that is pretty obscured by that tree, but this other lat that I'm behind right now, that is Merrick 362. I'm right where he would be if he stands up, and he can see that thing very easily. So this is an interesting building. I haven't seen this building used yet. So we'll see.
Well, hopefully he doesn't hit those windowsills, because that would be pretty tragic.
I have seen that happen before. You fire a rocket and it sits there and burns in the windowsill. It just makes me sad every time that happens. You know, you just pour one out for the dead rocket. You know,
they don't know where we are now. So.
What's up, man? I mean, what's up?
All right. Bird person cover us. Let's cross.
Our second MTL.
Everybody cross. Bird person cover.
Up to the lodgy and fall for guy, or set
full sprint across.
Shadowed Ritual on your screen there.
Yes, if he can drive like directly up.
Looks like he's heading northeast. He's near U.S. Main, starting to make a push on from this western direction. It looks like Pony or LaRue is opting to kind of do a western approach. You know, where there was that southwestern approach that they had. He's got a couple guys over there, but looks like he might be opting to do a little bit more of a straight approach from the west with at least Shadowed Ritual squad.
LaRue taking it extremely cautiously here. He's going building by building, taking it extremely slow. But the U.S. is on the far side of the objective, so he might be able to buy a lot of time. U.S. might be able to buy a lot of time with these empty buildings.
You know, while we have a couple seconds here, I'm going to take some time to go over the wonderful squad leads that are making this all possible. We didn't get to do it at the start here. So for Russia, Squad Lead 1 is Shadowed Ritual. Squad Lead 2 is Satan. Squad Lead 3 is led by Odessa. And Squad 4 is going to be led by Xbit with Command LaRue. And over on the U.S. side, Squad 1 is X-Brizinger. Squad 2 led by Dermoplast. Squad 3 for Burns. Squad 4 for Digit. And Command Best Pony. And then us flying around in the sky. Karmakut and CMYKMatter, your commentators for the night. Good stuff, man.
Good stuff. A great night for Squad Ops. We did have a great first session. The second session seeming to be just as explosive. And we'll see how far U.S. can continue holding this Logi truck, or if Russia will be able to snag it.
Somebody asking, is there any time limit? You know, we wish that there weren't, but due to the nature of the game and the maps that we have currently, there is kind of a time limit set by the map, which is at 1 hour and 39 minutes.
Excuse me, this Logi on this north is about to get ambushed by small arms. Both Logis actually bypassing each other. There's going to be a lot of small arms fire coming out on these Logi trucks right here. One lat goes off. Second one does not connect. He's going to pull right out of there. He's probably going to pop. He gets caught on the barrier. Vehicle abandoned. Interesting choice. The lats, one on one. I think he got a little confused there. I think it was a good old bait and switch right there with the Logis. I think that lat thought he was shooting the original Logi, but that first one is sitting right there, and the second one took the second lat shot. That was extremely entertaining to watch.
It was a little Benny Hill moment, you know?
Yeah, both Logis alive and intact because those lat shots were spread between the two.
Unfortunately, that Logi that is alive and intact, it is just kind of sitting there while the Russian forces surround it, and Dentrick alive, but he ran into a building. XF, though, close to that gas station. Looks like they might try to make a play.
Bravo, let's keep moving southeast.
Silverman just below Muff. They're getting ready. They're putting some eyes on there. Some shots go in on the north. Looks like Dentrick fighting with Shadow Ritual Squad.
One is being engaged here, my Bravo team.
And we have our first casualty. Yeah, first casualty. Dentrick goes down to Shadow Ritual Squad.
It's up to you.
LaRue, Command, just below Muff Bandit.
This is a really risky place for LaRue. As the second he peeks this corner, he might get spotted by that second fire team. He's checking this building with his face. I don't know what he's doing as Command. This is going to be devastating if he gets picked off by Silent.
And there it is!
That is Russian Command. I don't know what was going on there. Command needs to be in the rear with the gear, and there goes Russian Command. That is the first 10 minutes of this round. Russian Command decides to stick his head in the wrong building.
Got eyes on the front door.
You know, just listening to comms, there's a good moment. Satan goes, I think Command's down, and Shadow Ritual goes, yup.
Southeast of us.
Oh. That was Silent Death that took him out, too.
It was with a saw. There's no way you're beating a saw in a staircase. That is a no-go on that one.
I'm just gonna, take a moment, stare at LaRue's body, and let's lower our heads for a moment of silence. All right,
huge
good enough.
tactical fun. We might not see Best Pony redeem himself, but we might see LaRue make some blunders as well.
Oh man, what a hard time that is.
What a rough game we're having right here. Press F to pay respect. Oh boy.
Shadowed Ritual Squad now pushing up. They're just below Muff, where
Muff,
LaRue
the
went down.
The patience that Muff has not even peaked for once. Just sitting in that building, making sure that nothing happens.
Yeah, you know, you can't beat a saw on a staircase. You can't.
Crazy.
Oh boy. Yeah, you know, actually, that's humorous. Somebody just mentioned Pixel464 calling out. You know, both commands died on a staircase tonight. Best Pony going down on that staircase at the end of the first round, and he was the last one alive. But LaRue, not the first one to die. The second, first one on his team though. And Muff still the patience as that MTLB clacks along. You can hear that thing.
Muff not moving a muscle. Good discipline. Good patience.
All right, let's.
He's waiting for that Logi.
They're working on the building. I just heard Satan call out that there are definitely contacts on this building. They know that that's where command went down. And we'll see if you can beat a saw in a staircase. Oh, a Logi gets popped up to the north. That was the MTLB.
I believe that was the one that was
off.
originally captured, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
So
we're going to see if this saw is going to be able to hold it. Russians slowly making their way up the staircase. Checking floor by floor. They're going to get a nice face full of 762 if all goes as planned for Silent Death here.
Looking up the balcony, I don't see any.
Yeah.
Somebody's shooting at us.
Oh, on the staircase. There it is.
And he gets another one. Lat's going out. One lat hits the Logi. Let's see if Muff can finish it. Oh,
No!
Muff barely misses.
It's red, though. It's hurting. It might pop.
Muff hit just underneath the... Oh, it does pop!
It popped.
Muff goes down, but with his mission completed, I call that a good engagement for the U.S. U.S. now pulling out. They've succeeded in disabling that Logi recapture, and they're going to try to exfil. We'll see if these last 3 remaining U.S. troops are able to get out alive.
You know, not only were they able to destroy that Logi and make sure that that's not going to be a problem later, they were also able to take down the command for Russia. So, successful mission there in my books.
All right, copy that.
And it looks like 2 people, 3 people still alive for the U.S. in this AO. They might hold here. We'll see. They're kind of surrounded. They have to know that. There's a large Russian force pushing up to their south. See if they're able to get out of here. It might just be that the orders are to hold till the last and take out as many as you can with you, you know?
And in these buildings, there is a great advantage to defenders. Watching these corners, you got to be breaching this with fragmentation if you plan on taking out these
fragmentation. I know what happened last time you mentioned that. There's some shame going out the other night.
There was some shame on Operation Fallen Tree.
What a great clip that was, though.
Yeah, just throw a grenade in that door there.
There's 2 guys in here. I saw just regular rifleman.
Oh, did this player go down? No, there's 3. There's 3. There's a lat, a saw, and a standard rifleman.
Okay. I see.
Russians breaching with grenades.
You know, though command went down, it looks like the plan was already in place. Shadowed Ritual takes over immediately, and he is already commanding this. So even though command himself is down, plenty of capable squad leads to take over his position and tell people where to go, what to do, all that good stuff.
He's right in front of me. He's in that hallway right in front of me. He's looking west. He's in that hallway right in front of me. He's looking west.
Oh, copy. Looking west.
There could be more.
He was. He might have turned.
All right, looks like they're getting ready to push in here.
And these 3 soldiers are actually buying a lot of time for US. There's not too much going on outside of this area.
They try to
first
pen
breacher
through the
comes
wall.
in. We're gonna see what happens.
Basement's clear. Careful. He's on the left. Cover left.
Oh, who is this monster?
We got 2.
That is Merrick 362.
Merrick dropping bodies with the anti-push aggression. He's gonna peek it again. Tags another. Putting rounds on target. Merrick with some excellent shooting skills.
You know. Oh,
Grenade,
frag goes in though.
Can he get in the corner? He does
lives.
survive. He's gonna have
hurt
to
though.
bandage.
He's bandaging. They called it. They're gonna push him. And then pushing.
Oh
they
my
lose 2
god! They should not be messing around with this building. Oh my god! Merrick is just dropping bodies out here.
Wow.
So a quick tip: when you have enemies bottled up in a 1 entry point building, you don't need to breach it. You wait for them to come out. You post maybe 1 guy outside that door, and now you flip the scenario on him. Instead of trying to breach a non-essential building and losing 5 guys for nothing, you can reverse the breaching if you hold on the other side. Because there's only 1 way out of this building. There's only 1 way out.
That was amazing. You know, Peyton QQ covering for Merrick. Merrick had the bandage, and as they push, they are looking for Merrick bandaging in the corner, and then Peyton QQ just lights up the guys that try to push in. Man, great
Excellent
teamwork.
communication. Excellent teamwork.
Excellent.
And you can see Merrick with that counter aggression, not just waiting for them to peek the corner, but peeking the corner himself and engaging those targets before they can reach that corner. That kind of aggression is critical when it comes to CQB engagements.
You know, he's able to take down 5, or they're able to take down 5 in this area. 3 guys holding in a non-essential building, able to take down 5.
And it looks like Pony is in good shape to blow up this this second round here with mortars denied and a disgusting swap of casualties at the Logi. Also with LaRue going down trying to breach a building. Pony's in a good position right now. All he has to do is not fuck up.
Oh man, you know, I do believe one thing that they do have going for them, one thing the Russians have going for them, they still have both of their MTLBs. You know, they were able to keep those alive. So we'll see if they're able to work with that. The problem is they have just lost so many guys to unnecessary pushes and seeks.
Yeah, it also looks like because Russia spent so much time on near U.S. main, very few Logi supplies were able to be dropped onto the point itself. So that itself might actually become a bigger issue as we near the endgame.
And we can see the Russian forces have finally made their way up here. They've pushed off of that center area, and now they are pushing into the village that is north of Herman Castle. That Herman Castle, though we haven't seen it in a few minutes since the start of this because there's been some intense stuff going on, that Herman Castle is actually the objective. So that thing that you see off there in the distance, and the Russians have now pushed 1 squad up here. We've got another squad up north, and it looks like they are finally reconsolidating their forces to make the actual push. They do have both of their MTLBs up. If they can use them to great effect, they might be able to actually get through these defenses that US has set up.
A brilliant display of how contact can happen all over the map, even though we have a single point objective. A great display of how the pacing works within squad ops. There are large areas where you might not be expecting contact, and then suddenly it hits you like a truck out of nowhere. So you always have to be ready, and you have to be expecting contact around that corner. Otherwise, if you let your guard down and the enemy exploits that, that could lead to some massive casualties.
Absolutely. Now, the U.S. still has a couple guys hanging out back there. The 3 that were in that area, Merrick and Peyton QQ and 1 other with him. And a couple guys sitting off here to the south as well. Just kind of holding, scouting. They're making sure that, you know, the push isn't coming from the west. But they're going to know that they eventually have to start maneuvering back. Man, Merrick 360. Ugh! one of the stars of the stream. Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to grab Merrick after this. Get an interview. See if we can get an interview with him. Maybe.
Oh, I bet you his heart was pumping.
We need to. We'll see if we can get our producer back here, Penn. See if he can coordinate with Merrick after. Get an interview with him, because man, what a star! What a star!
What was that, Jim?
Oh man, beautiful stuff. All right, so getting back to this push, though, the Russians have managed to push themselves up here. Guns are the Guns and Thurman Merman holding in that MTLB right here. And you know, though there was a lot of craziness going on, ultimately some a good amount of the command elements are still up, except for Command himself.
A 50 cal opening up from the castle. He spots contact far to the north.
Wow, what a couple of shots coming out very far. Coming in on Krusty the Sailor and XF. XF laying prone right now in this field. Krusty the Sailor looking out to the east. You know, the MTLB is lighting up a building where there's nobody there. They think that the contact might have been coming from there. I don't think that they realize that that is HMG shots completely from the castle up on that roof.
Alright, keep pushing, guys. We're gonna push through this.
There's a left to the
Someone gets tagged. Krusty gets tagged. He's got a bandage up.
Let's take a look at this HMG. Wow.
Eyes on the southeast side.
Russians now occupying that northern hill, but we'll see if it's enough. They've taken a good amount of casualties so far, also losing command in the earlier engagement. And U.S., though not completely fortified, does have a good amount of sandbags here to kind of defend.
Absolutely. You can see this is the HMG that they were taking fire from. This thing, it is embedded on a roof, just overlooking that whole area. Great positioning for it. You know, though they lost one Logi, there's still another Logi making runs.
Yep, Logi runs have continued for the Americans, and Pony's going to get right back to defending and building up his defense.
Yeah, they were able to get a hit on it. They were not able to take down that one. They did have to surrender one of their Logis. Kind of crashed into a pole, took a lat hit, had a bad time. Everybody was a little freaked out.
Had a bad time indeed.
It was a little bit of a bad day. Right. Dentrick, poor guy up there, takes fire. He's like, you know, man, I'm just a truck driver, just trying to make my way in this world. Shadow Ritual, not letting him have it.
Copy, you're looking at it right now?
Nope, it is indefilate.
Looks like that MTLB might get engaged pretty soon. It's pushing in close.
Copy that.
Contact north.
New MTL position is Fox 3. Keep.
All right, Burns telling them to go ahead and open up on it.
I think 50 cal fire just took out someone here. Yeah, there's a casualty from Russia, and a squad leader by the looks of it. Nope, that's an AR down from the 50 cal. RPG goes out, narrowly misses.
That's enough to scare that MTLB a little.
Yeah.
Pulling it back now. Those lats are scary, man.
Yeah, Pony's doing a great job of playing the time. He's delaying this assault for the longest amount of time, and we'll see how that can benefit him. The most obvious benefit is more Logi runs, more defenses, and hopefully mortars, if he can get those up.
You know, he's keeping a pretty tight defense here. He has at least 2 squads inside the defense proper, or inside the location proper. He's still got those 2 squads, or that squad that is out there to the west that was taking engagement earlier. They're kind of maneuvering themselves back into position now, and we'll see what they're able to do. Yeah, you know, squad leads 1 and 2 chilling inside the actual defense location.
Pony deciding to call those 2 infantry on the north back into the compound.
Absolutely. You know, it looked like they were just trying to do a stick and move, you know, get out there, try to put in some shots. See if the MTLB rolls up too close, then pull them back. Shadow live on your screen. Starting with the assault here from the north. They're going to just kind of have to do a little bit of an ad hoc assault here. They were not able to get up the mortars and they lost a lot of guys earlier, so he's just going to have to piece something together with the position that they have. They do have those 2 MTLBs, though, that they can hopefully use to great effect.
I'm really surprised at the lack of mortar use from the Americans right now. The mortars apply so much pressure, especially on assaulting infantry. But yeah, we'll see what happens in due time.
The MTLB putting some shots in, getting close to Stinky Pinky. He takes cover. He's going to be okay.
US pretty hardened up right now. They don't have to worry about mortars because that Logi did go down. And I think 1 US soldier, yeah, on this far northwest did get taken out.
Squad 2, do you know what direction that heavy gun's facing?
All right, well, a couple casualties back and forth. We'll see what happens here as they get close. The Russian forces have started to take position on those northern rocks. Now, this last part of this push, where you have to actually shove across this road, can be absolutely brutal. The good news for them, U.S. losing 1 of their lodges. Oh, here comes the smokes raining in on the road. They're going to billow up, and they're probably going to push under this. Now, one thing we always talk about, you throw smokes, you push. So
yep,
you don't
smoke and push, smoke and push.
I get so frustrated when I see smokes go out, and then they just sit there, you know?
I'm really confused as to why we have not seen mortars come out from Best Pony. Is he down? Where is Best Pony?
You know, he might be dead.
Oh, he's off. No, where is he dead?
Best Pony, not dead. He hasn't had a death yet. Where is he?
Oh, he's in the center here.
Oh,
next
okay.
to the fob.
Oh, here comes the push. Russia pushing in on the north. Leading the charge is the Silver Man across that road.
Let's try grenades over the wall.
Here they come. They're going to make a push on this northeastern door.
Now, there's no cover up here on this upper level. These frags are going to do a lot of damage. This is going to kill this guy, or at least wound him.
Oh, man. As you've said many a time.
There's no cover up here. I'm not sure what
goes
Pony's doing. He doesn't have any cover up here on this upper layer. I guess he's deciding to concede the upper layer and hold the lower, but he's giving up a lot of high ground if he does choose to do that.
His fob location is on the lower in the palisade in the southwest, actually.
Interesting
choice. He's done something different. You know, every time I think the fob has been up top. So maybe he has decided to just turn this lower area into kind of a hellhole, you know? Concede the north or concede the top and just let him kind of try to push in.
Yeah, you can see there's absolutely zero cover up here. Frag grenades being extremely effective because of that.
Right.
And looks like Pony's just trying to harden up directly around the fob.
Watch those stairs.
You know, I think that's what they're trying to do is just turn this lower area into, you know, a really terrible funhouse filled with bullets and fragmentation.
The one main problem I see with that is they've conceded that northern area, which means that, or that upper layer, which means that Russians will be able to take that and shoot down into the compound. And you never want to be fighting uphill.
Right. Oh, here's close contact. And that's Digit goes down on the southeast. He's not even going to have time to call out that contact. He came around the corner and just got dropped.
You have a bearing on that?
2-6. Copy.
Logistics trunks could also refer to swimwear of choice for logistics professionals. Oh my god, Pixel 464. I like it. I want some logistics trunks. Oh, good laugh. Yeah, this eastern approach is going to be hard for them, the southeastern approach. They have kind of a funneling system set up here where they're pushing them through one entrance.
There is a fire team over here. They're getting spotted. They almost take a RPG to the face. They're going to try to spread out here now. But this flanking squad getting caught in the open. There's not enough cover out here for this push. I'm very confused with what's going on. And once again...
Man, Merrick nearly down. Peyton QQ and Merrick are the two that were here. They're just kind of holding out. These are the guys who earlier did such a good job. Merrick now at this corner.
Merrick dropping another one. Oh, and he finally gets taken out.
What a beast. What an absolute beast.
Merrick ending up with 6 downs.
Wow. What a job by him. Peyton QQ, now the only one left of that little group. He puts out a smoke, letting everybody know exactly where he is. Oh, frag round comes out. It doesn't manage to kill anybody, though, on the Russian side.
No, there's white smoke.
This one lone U.S. soldier seems to be forgotten by the Russians. He's going to be able to open up on the flank if he waits and is patient enough.
You know, they saw that smoke come out. They have to know somebody's there, right? Maybe they
one would think.
Like, yeah, you know. That's residual smoke. You know, the car tossed it. It didn't want to be shot. Oh, one guy gets dropped coming in. That was MD Grimm going down. Mindsteel pushing up on this corner. They're taking some shots up top.
Shit, he went down.
Not a lot of aggression coming out from Russia right now. A lot of stoppage on this east. Where they're stacked. They're finally now breaching the upper compound. Now, this is the moment for Russia to strike if they have the direction to. They can take this upper compound and shoot down into the lower one. But other than that, it doesn't look like they have the numbers to breach this.
Yeah, you know, there was a HESCO placed up here that was kind of blocking this area. They were able to dig it down and get in there, though. And that is legal to do. You're not allowed to block entrances normally, but since this is like this messed up half wall thing here, we don't count that as a technical entrance. It's anywhere that you can walk. It cannot be blocked, so. All right, here comes the assault.
We have a U.S. soldier on the upper, on a corner. He's going to be able to see a couple of these guys. He's loaded out with a saw, so he's going to be able to do a good amount of damage if he can get in the right position. He's about to drop one right here.
Still over there. They're
And he sees him.
south of us, on the other side of the building to the south.
Holding his fire, waiting for the perfect shot.
Oh, Sonny goes down to Rose Dragon here on the south. All right. Rose Dragon pushing through. They're getting control. Getting control of this upper compound. And here's what you were talking about. Now that they have control of this upper compound, Rose Dragon is able to lay in shots on the palisade and take one down from up here. This is what you were talking about with that high ground.
I'm not sure why Pony would concede this ground. It gives too much advantage to Russia. If they can get on top of these roofs, get on the top of these parapets, they could do a lot of damage to the U.S. And that's exactly what Russia is doing. They're using this high ground. Oh, that was, I don't even know where that lat shot came from.
I have no idea. XF nearly dead. Stormfront still holding this. Good shots coming in. Joker Sully goes down. Stormfront holding on this southern side. The MTLBs have pushed up into position. They're going to try to rain in some fire. We'll see if they're able to do any work. And here's what you were talking about. They have conceded that upper side, and now look, Russia has a good foothold. They have over a squad in here getting a foothold.
Definitely, there was some contact earlier down there.
It's all going to come down to the game of angles. Who's going to play the angles better on the assault of the lower compound?
MTLV's working that southeastern corner. They have eyes onto that little outcropping on the southwest side of the compound. And Pony's going to end up getting locked into this compound in the west. And if he gets fragged out, that could be GG.
We'll have to see. Shadowed Ritual just called out lower level on the west seems to be the location of it. He saw all those different defenses down there. Pony has put together a maze of sorts.
It's going to come down to good gun skill at this point. It's damn near even.
All right, trying to get in position here. Some shots coming in. That MTLB has pulled itself right up. Do the U.S. not have any lat left? Doesn't look like it. Maybe they do. Shots being returned on the Russian forces up there. Frag goes out. We'll see if it's in a good location.
Oh god.
Blows up. Doesn't really do much. Just threw it at the MTLB. The MTLB just putting fire in. Oh, one of the Russians go down. And you know, there is a U.S. force coming in from the north. Looks like 4 guys up here, but the MTLB has seen them and is now putting fire on them. They're actually
actually the U.S.'s old HMG position on that hill.
Rose Dragon up there on that HMG, laying in fire. Good heads up play by him to say, you know what, I can use this. I like it. I like it. That's what I like to see.
Yeah, so right now, U.S. playing very awkward angles, having to fight up the,
they've done a decent job. Look at this. They wipe out 5 Russians up here just kind of chilling, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see this work. I think what's happening is the fact that there's no cover up there. There's no cover up on that upper platform. So even if the Russians did take it over, there's no cover for them. Just like how there's no cover for the U.S.
Oh, Frag's going in, though. Take out 1 on that lower area.
Yeah, that was a good grenade.
That was a great grenade, yep.
We're down to 5 Russians and about 10 U.S. Numbers leaning towards U.S. And it does look like Pony's going to be able to stop them. A very awkward defense, but it's going to work out in the end.
He does have a small force coming in from the north as well, if you see that, 3 guys.
Yeah, the 3-man fire team up here on the north is going to be pushing down here.
A firm, you should have enemies on the east side.
That is Swan, Pokesmot, and Piddle
pushing
in from that north. That MTLB in the southeast here, though, just terrorizing everybody. That is crazy. I've never seen the MTLB roll up there. This force that's up top, if they're not careful, there's going to be guys coming in from their north here. Piddle, Pokesmot, and I am Swan.
MTLB actually ended up grabbing a couple kills there. On the stairwell now, we have 1 U.S. soldier on the corner. He was sleeping. Still manages to get the kill, though. And that bandage sound is going to get him killed.
No, maybe not. Oh, yeah, it does. And here comes the force from up there at the top. Actually manages to wipe the last of them that was up top. There's now just 1 guy in the compound.
Enemies on the lower half.
And this whole Russian assault that we thought had a great position falls apart in an instant due to bad execution.
Yeah, really awkward match we had here, round 2. I don't really even know what to think of this. Russian command face checks a building. There's no mortars on the defense. There's no. I'm pretty puzzled right now at what happened in this second round.
They have done you a surprise.
Yep, I'm legitimately surprised. One of the first times in a long time at how this match played out. I'm taken off guard. Very confused.
Oh man, you can see on your screen here we're following the last Russian in the compound alive. That is John Daly. Relatively a new guy, actually. He's probably a little scared. There's 1 more that is pushed into the compound on the south. That is Thurman Merman. So we do have 2 Russians that have managed to make it into this compound. And now they're going to have to go through Pony's little hell that he set up over there. We're going to call that my little hellhole. That's what that's going to be over there.
There's no other way to get up there except go inside.
Got him! Oh, man.
Russians now pushing in on foot. They're going to try to breach this maze.
Oh, there goes John Daly.
Pony's got a pretty elaborate defense here.
Elaborate?
That's the last player?
One of them.
Or is the MTLB... Did the MTLB gunners dismount? Oh, no. There's still a couple.
We'll see if these Russians are able to make a push here. The MTLB is pushing up. He's not going to be able to do anything from this side.
He might very well dismount. Russians trying to look for another way to breach this compound, but doesn't look like that's going to be possible.
No other way.
One door in, one door out.
Remember, there's talks about fragmentation. Nobody probably has any frags left.
The MTLB drivers and gunners probably do.
Actually, yeah, you're right. Let's see what he's able to do here. Looks like he's trying
to figure it out. He's trying to deconstruct this puzzle that Pony has built for him.
It's a Rubik's Cube of defense, you know.
He gets shot from the opposite side. 2 Russian players left here now. We got one on the upper and I think one driving the MTLB. Oh no, 2 These MTLB drivers are still in their vehicles, so that's actually very good to see. No one's abandoned their vehicle yet.
They try to ram the sandbags here at the MTLB. That's not an effective strategy.
You know, I think who's that? Truck actually gets burns in the rear.
All right.
Piddle's gonna be waiting for him. They're gonna be coming around this corner hot on each other's tails. Did that MTLB see him?
I don't know. Truck pushing this corner though.
Oh, did he get tagged? Oh no, he's still
he got tagged.
No, he got tagged.
Truck though, not taking the opportunity to push Piddle while he was bandaging.
Oh, here he goes.
Might cost him. Here he goes.
Guns up though.
No, he's gonna peek slow.
Oh, he's looking the other. Piddle.
He gets him.
Piddle goes down.
But there's one more. There's one more in the building. Truck sees him, puts shots in.
Small one-on-one engagement here, trading back and forth.
Another one though. Gonzo the Gon's coming up.
He's gonna get flanked right here around the corner, and he goes down. Russia evening it out. I think it's now 4v3.
And it's just the 3 that are holding that little.
There might be 3v3
my little
hellhole.
Yep. That's it now. So we'll see.
You know what might actually work pretty well here is if Russia uses their shovels. Shovels could be the key to this maze. It could be the answer to all of their problems right now. If they enable or find a way to roll the MTLB in and then dismantle the fob to where they can get the MTLB a shot, that might be the key to this great puzzle. But, we'll see what happens.
Truck and Gonzo the Gons have no idea that this whole lower compound is clear. They're throwing out frags and smokes like it's not clear. They're scared of peeking the stairs. So they have no idea. And that's one thing about squad ops. We don't allow you to communicate after you go down. So unless information is specifically passed on before you go down, there's no way of knowing what's safe and what isn't.
Exactly.
Gonna follow these guys around. In the front of your screen here, Gonzo the Gons. In the back, Truck up there at top. That MTLB is no longer going to be of any use to them. They need to abandon that thing and get on the actual assault. Alright, follow him in here. See if he's able to go. Now, a bunch of people have died while coming around that corner because they've been able to fire through the sandbags. Putting shots in up top on the palisade, but not going to do much. It's just that little bunker right here with 3 US inside. Guns are the Gons running around trying to understand what this all is. You know, he's going through very much the thought process that they went through earlier. Like, what are this? You know, just checking it out.
He doesn't yet want to enter the maze. He's walked past the entrance quite a few times now, not confident enough to enter the maze. If they can dismantle a part of the maze and make their own entry point, that might be safer to do. But we'll see if they opt to do that.
Oh, wait, here we go. We might have somebody breaching through on the north. He's running around. This is Truck, who managed to take down a few earlier. Might actually... he peeks it, and he jumps and says, oh, okay, that looks scary.
There's only one entrance.
They're doing the same thing. Look, they're like, I don't like that area. They maneuver around, try to go through the door. You know, no.
I don't like this. I don't want this. I don't want to do this.
This feels icky. I don't want it. Is that MTLB still manned out there? Yes, I believe. Oh, no. Oh, man. A frag grenade coming in?
A little bit loud.
He puts it up top where there's nobody. All right.
Grenade.
They don't get any ideas, right?
He says, should we breach that door to the left?
They're going to be very disappointed when they find it is an empty room.
I was going to wait here in the empty room and watch them come in.
Right, I'll take left.
Yeah, you take the right, I'll take left. Oh, man! There's nothing here. Okay.
Alright, there's this.
They can't know, though. They have no idea, so, you know. We're teasing them a little bit, but these guys can't know.
That's no palisade. That's a battle space.
What the?
Alright, so they gotta be in the room where the radio is at.
Yeah, they gotta be. They say, alright, they gotta be in the room where the radio is. Well, I mean, you know.
Using the power of deduction.
Oh, here we go.
All right, here we go. Russia's gonna make a play.
Yeah, we're gonna have to dig.
All right, this is what U.S. has been waiting for. This is what they trained for. Oh! Oh my God, he doesn't see him.
Oh,
he does not see that player.
If you have one nade, you can put it on the bottom. This bottom entrance. Okay.
Yeah, I'm hearing too. I think I heard.
They're gonna smoke the room.
It's gonna be hard to peek.
Where are they throwing that smoke?
Pushing through smoke is one of the hardest things to do in this game.
Yep. Oh, they're gonna go up top. I think they're trying to go up.
I'll go first.
Oh, here we go. They were going in.
We have a nade.
Oh, nade.
Nade coming back. Oh God. Oh, it's okay. All right.
I'm going upstairs. No, that was his frag.
Now here they start to push in. Puts in some shots. Doesn't hit anybody.
Reloading. It's smoking.
There's a U.S. gentleman
Upstairs is clear.
behind them that they don't really know is there yet.
Alright, we're gonna touch
A
this.
kind gentleman, just sitting in that area.
Absolutely buried me in here. I've got like high bales everywhere.
Rainbow Six Siege at this point, yeah. They wish they had thermite, you know, put a hole through that wall so they can breach in.
Alright.
Oh.
I'll go in first. I'll cut left. Revy, you want to cut right, and then.
Does he see that barrel? He must see that barrel.
They're getting ready.
Let's go.
Oh, come on!
2, 3.
Here goes the push.
Oh my God, they have ammo!
They managed to take down the two that were inside, and there's still two up. Oh my God! They did it!
That is absolutely insane.
They are bleeding. They are bandaging. Do they know that there's one left?
Lon completely missing the train.
They're gonna work on these. Yeah, they're gonna start working on this fob here, but there's just one U.S. soldier pushing in.
Just making sure he's dead.
He's just making sure he's dead. Double tap.
Yeah, do you want to dig? Oh, I'll...
Oh, no, one-on-one now!
You got it covered?
He says you got it covered. He's dead.
So you just like shovel it, right? Gonzo?
Here he comes. This is the final peak.
Oh, he's gonna get shot in the side, looking the wrong way. He does know the layout, or at least he should know the layout of this room.
He's just real reluctant to peek it, you know?
Oh, he has a... what is he doing? Oh my god, oh my god. He hadn't reloaded! That Russian had not reloaded his rifle!
No.
He had to switch... What am I watching?
This fits the theme of the night completely, though. Here comes the push. He's pushing around that corner. Oh, and he gets a Russian's win! Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Revy Beast, the last alive Revy Beast. I don't even know. I don't even
understand. I'm so confused by this game. This second round was so confusing to me.
The quote of the night, bonsai, as they make the final push.
My brain is so confused right now. I have no idea what happened.
I don't know that I even want to know
what just
happened.
happened. My brain can't even process
That Mad Russian worked.
what happened.
Wow.
All right. Well, we're gonna pull in a couple of people for post reviews here. We're gonna be grabbing Merrick,
a few more.
and hopefully the commands. We can get the commands.
Yeah, I think we'll get the commands. Hopefully.
I need to pick Pony's brain.
You mean yell at Pony? Is that what you're saying?
No. I legitimately want to know what he was thinking. Oh my lord. I am so very, very confused.
What a wonderful night. That was... I had a good time, if nothing else. Alright, looks like we got Best Pony in here.
Alright. So, Pony, rough night for you.
I wanted to rip my hair out of my head when none of those three guys, like, got tagged the second they peeked that hab.
I'm curious. I want to ask you a couple questions. Round one. What was your intention of firing the mortars before your infantry?
The intention was they already knew where my mortar fob was, so I only had like one mortar's worth of mortars anyway, so I might as well soften it up a little bit.
I see. That was a real you managed to grab and snap that Logi out of there, and that was extremely impressive. I was upset. I was rooting for you there. I was rooting for you, and I saw those mortars land too early, and then that breach was very aggressive. Very aggressive. What do you think you would change? What would you change in that push?
Let's see. In that push, there's not really much change, honestly. Like, this, at some level, we got outshot at every single level of that match. Like, you look at the kills, you look at the deaths. Tactically, we moved at the right times, we moved to the right places, but every single time we lost all the trades, you know, and sometimes that just happens. That worked earlier today perfectly, so.
It felt like you had a pressure, you felt a time crunch or a pressure on you after you had fired the mortars. It seemed like there was a lot of rapid movement going on past buildings that were not clear. Were you feeling some, what was the pressure you were feeling to get that movement going fast and instead of clearing that northern compound?
I had a dwindling number of troops, and clearing the northern compound was a waste of time when I only had enough people to maybe make one good push. If I wasted time clearing the northern compound, I would have lost probably 1/4, maybe 1/3 of the remaining 16 people, at which point it's impossible to make any kind of effective compound breach. Not that the compound breach was effective, but, you know, if you know, we smoked a little more, threw a few better frags, that was a solid place to breach, and we got in successfully, but then everyone just got shot, which is a problem.
I see.
Like we
I
also
see.
have LaRue joining us here.
Yes, LaRue, I want to ask you, what were you thinking checking that building with your face?
So, what happened was, I saw a fire team on the other side of the road, and I was like, all right, guys, on me, let's go clear these buildings, because they weren't clearing the buildings very fast. And they're like, yeah, we're on you, right? So I start going, I peer the corner, and I'm like, oh, they're not with me. So I was like, this is the one building where their lat is probably just lying there. I'll peek the corner, and I just see a prone saw gunner just destroy me.
Yeah. That was a rough one.
That was a rough one. Matt, round 2, Pony. What was your thinking not utilizing mortars on the defense? I'm curious why you opted for no mortars.
The whole defense was planned around the lower compound and thinning out the Russians as they pushed through there. So mortars would not be effective because the Russians would be within the minimum 50-meter range, likely when we were engaging with the mortars. And also, as you saw, that the lower area is very vulnerable to MTLB fire, so the MTLB would just drive up and shoot them. My goal was to prevent the enemy from getting mortars and then use my supply runs to focus on building a very strong series of bunkers and kill houses in the lower half of the base, and then thin the Russians out when they were forced to come in after us.
Gotcha. Interesting tactic. I would have liked to see. I would have liked to see mortars utilized on the defense. I think that would have been extremely. I think that's one of the things that pressured you on the offense in round 1 was LaRue was firing mortars in your direction that kind of put the gas on your infantry.
I do have to say, very effective use of mortars by LaRue in the first round. That was really
very
well
effective
done.
use of mortars. But overall, great performance by both of you. We're so glad to have witnessed these 2 matches. I was genuinely surprised by the outcome of both.
That push at the end.
That push at the end.
Wait, I gotta ask LaRue, how excited were you as they yell bonsai and make that final charge?
I was trying not to laugh. It was I thought they were dead for sure. I thought that the defenders had a really good position inside there, and when they didn't die, I was kind of like, oh, that happened.
Yeah. Watching that peak when that U.S. infantryman pushed the door, and watching that AR gunner go click, click, and have to transition to his pistol, I think was one of the best things I've ever witnessed within Squad Ops. I've never ever seen that. I can't believe it. But thank you so much for dropping by. Do we have Merrick in here?
We're not going to be able to get Merrick. He went bye-bye, sadly.
But yeah, thank you everyone for coming out and watching. Thank you to the commands for putting us up. This is SquadOps.gg with Operation Rook. One Life events. Find out more at squadops.gg. If you'd like to see more of this, subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/squadops and our Twitch at twitch.tv/squadops. Thank you so much to my co-host Matter, one of our content creation leads. He does great work on the overlays and putting together those awesome trailers that you guys saw tonight. My name is Karmakut. I'm the founder and director over at Squad Ops. Thank you so much for joining us. And then a special thank you to Penn, the man behind the magic, behind the scenes. You don't hear his voice, you don't see him, but he's here. He's doing all the work, and he's making the streams. He's the ghost of Squad Ops, and he makes all those multicams excellent and makes a great viewing experience for you guys. So thank you all. If you'd like to win a copy of Squad, remember to head over to twitch.tv/squadops. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Squad Ops signing off.